In this video, I'm going to rank all 6 weapons in Minecraft on a tier list that ranges from perfect to bad. I'm basing my rankings based on the criteria of how useful these weapons are against both mobs and players in Java Edition. Let's go. The first weapon I'm going to rank is the axe. The axe has a slow attack speed but high damage, which increases with sharpness, and the axe has the unique ability to disable shields. Because the axe has a slower attack speed than the sword, it actually results in a much lower DPS. But its ability to take down a player's shield makes it great for finishing off players when they're low on HP. The axe's lack of versatility in PvP situations is its biggest shortcoming, plus the fact that it often acts as a secondary option to the sword. Because of the axe's dual functionality as both a tool and a weapon, many players disregard the sword completely in their inventories because it saves them a hotbar slot. The axe may have flaws, but overall I think it's an amazing weapon. The bow's ability to be of use at any distance and sight from its target makes it a must-have weapon against both mobs and players. The power enchantment allows for the bow to be one of the most damaging weapons in the game, being able to one-shot many mobs and exist as a force to be reckoned with in the hands of a skilled player in PvP. The punch enchantment is great for when you need to escape a tight situation due to its super strong knockback combined with the bow's ability to be spammed at medium range. If used correctly, someone or something chasing you won't be able to get close. The bow's insane damage output potential and the versatility that enchantments such as Infinity, Punch, and Flame add to the bow earn it the perfect tier. The crossbow is the first weapon on this list that I have many issues with. Enchantments like piercing and multi-shot will be great for taking down hordes of mobs in theory, but the crossbow's lack of an enchantment to increase its damage like power does to a regular bow makes the crossbow a worse option in nearly every situation compared to the regular bow. If you're fighting a player who has protection 4 armor, a piercing 4 or multi-shot crossbow is barely going to tickle them because these enchantments don't buff the crossbow's base damage. I think Mojang should rework the piercing enchantment so that it ignores levels of armor protection based on the piercing level. Let me know what you think of this idea in the comments. Additionally, the crossbow lacks the regular bow's ability to arrow spam. The quick charge enchantment can make up for some of the crossbow's shortcomings in the firing speed department, but it won't be as effective as a regular bow arrow spam when you need to knock back a player or mob. And did I mention that the crossbow can shoot fireworks? It's a complete style over substance weapon, and nobody is using this more effectively than a regular bow. It's a mid weapon. Please debate me in the comments if you disagree. Next up is a classic, the sword. The sword is the most widely known and used weapon in the game for a good reason. The sword's quick attack speed and ease of use, along with the variety of enchantments to choose from, makes it a must-have weapon at all times. You have sharpness for dealing insane damage up close, knockback for sending players and mobs flying away from you, fire aspect for cooking your victims alive, looting for increasing the amount of loot that mobs drop, and sweeping edge for dealing big damage to multiple enemies at once, which is great for XP farms taking out crowds of mobs, much more effectively than the crossbow, I might add. There isn't a single drawback to carrying a sword around. It is the most versatile and useful weapon in the game. It gets the perfect tier. The Trident is a personal favorite of mine, even if it falls flat in multiple areas of use. The Trident attempts to be a hybrid between a melee and a ranged weapon, but doesn't necessarily excel either. A Trident with loyalty will not allow you to attack from a distance as quickly as a bow, and up close the Trident swings slower than a sword and can't match the axe's damage output. The Trident makes an attempt at being of use in water because of the projectile's arc being unaffected, unlike the bow, which is utterly useless underwater. However, the Trident's lack of a proper damage increasing enchantment makes it obsolete. The impaling enchantment makes the Trident do more damage to aquatic mobs, which is super useful against guardians, but that's about it. On the Bedrock edition, the impaling enchantment increases the Trident's damage against any mob or player in water or rain. Which will bump up the Trident a lot in its usefulness as a weapon, but unfortunately I'm ranking is based on their Java edition counterparts. The Trident's channeling enchantment is similar to the crossbow's ability to shoot fireworks, and by that I mean it's a style over substance feature which won't be of much use in PvP or against mobs. With all that being said, the Riptide enchantment allows the Trident to shine. Being able to propel yourself dozens of blocks in any direction when you are in water or rain adds a completely different functionality to the weapon. Riptide is great for scaling long distances quickly, and it's useful for either chasing down players or escaping tight situations. If it weren't for the Riptide enchantment, Trident would be in mid, but it gets the good tier. I will also add that if Java had Bedrock's version of the Impaling enchantment, it would probably get the amazing tier. It's a shame. The last weapon on this list is the most recently added, the Mace. The Mace is not viable in most situations due to its slow attack speed and low damage, but when successfully taking advantage of the Mace's gimmick, it becomes one of the most powerful weapons in the game. The Mace's damage increases for each block you follow right before it hits something. When considering the Mace by itself, this mechanic sounds extremely situational and a waste of space in your inventory, but when paired with a wind charge, you can boost yourself into the air and smash your enemy as you please. This works even better when the Mace is enchanted with Wind Burst because you can infinitely boost yourself into the air if you continuously hit your target. The Mace also has enchantments that boost its damage, and it sends nearby enemies flying into the air when it hits something. The Mace is super fun to use and is a welcome and balanced addition to the game in my opinion. The Mace goes in the great tier. That concludes my tier list ranking of every weapon in Minecraft Java Edition. Let me know in the comments, did I make any mistakes in this tier list, and how would you rank these weapons? Subscribe for more content like this, and thank you for watching.